What up, bitches? It's the misanthropic one, aka He Who Hungers, and I'm back up in this bitch for another rant/review. Today, I want to talk about this album right here, Locksmith's latest album called 1,000 Cuts. Alright, Locksmith is a California MC. I believe he was once in the battle circuit, was a battle rapper, and when I first heard of this guy, it was a couple years ago. I forget who put me onto him, but he has a video out called Rare Form, and I checked this shit out, and the shit was fucking dope. I really love this dude. He reminded me of a little bit of Chino XL, but he had his own little style going, and I was so waiting for this dude to come out with an album, but for some reason I got lost, you know, amongst other artists. Y'all know how I do on this channel, and I know he put out a couple of shit, and a couple of shits, I should say, and I'm gonna go back and order those. Like I think one is called Labyrinth, and forget what the other one's called, the Green something. Not the Green Book, that's by Twisted, but I forget what that thing is called. But anyway, he's done work. He did a mixtape, I believe, with Ski Beats also, called Embedded. And fast forward to now, this album right here. Love the fucking artwork, all the little pictures and shit, making a collage of his fucking face. And let's get into this shit, all right? Let's talk about the production on here. You have, well, the producers, let's give them credit. You have Nova K, Locksmith, Mike Blankenship, Matt Cody, Brendan Blair. Let's see, who else? Arsonist of the Heatmakers, and that's about it. A lot of the stuff is Locksmith and Mike Blankenship producing together, majority of the tracks. Got 12 tracks on this bitch, so it's nice and compact. Well, sorry, 13. There's a bonus track on here. Forgot about that. It's just not, it's not listed on the back. And features, you have Rebecca Nobel, Jarrow Perry, Fallon, Leah Tice, is that how you say it? Anisha, Olamide, Faison, and R.A. the Rugged Man. Now for 12 tracks, you got a bunch of features on here. Rebecca Nobel, excuse me, she repeats, she's on here 3 times, and everybody else is just on there. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 12 tracks with features on it. Y'all know how I feel about that. Most of these are just singers doing hooks. The only rap feature on there is my nigga R.A. the Rugged Man. Shout out to R.A., shout out to Nature Sounds, by the way. So we'll get into the pros and the cons. Let me, how would I do it? Pros, okay. Pros on this album, he's got songs with content on it. There's some content-driven songs. Even though this album seems kind of compact, well, let me stay on the content songs. No, I'll go into that in the cons. Even though these songs seem kind of, even though there's 12 tracks on here, 13 tracks, you still get a decent amount of album. It seems like a decent amount of album on here. Nothing really that I guess you would say seems like filler your first time around listening to it, because he grabs you by the ear. Songs like The Hardest Song Ever, dope fucking track talking about being molested, or being molested as a child. He's got dope tracks on here. What is it? I think, was it Willie Lynch, where he's talking about his biracial ethnicity? Is it Willie Lynch or Who I Am? No, it's Willie Lynch. I'm sorry. Fucking Idols, dope track. The No. Sorry, someone texted me just a minute ago. But let me get into the cons. Oh, I'm sorry. One more pro. My man R.A., the Rugged Man, is on here. He destroys it. Fucking ill. Again, shout out to R.A. That motherfucker is a beast. That is my dude. But I've talked about him before various times. This ain't about him though. Cons of the album. I felt that Locksmith needed, I would say, a little bit better production. It wasn't horrible, just it could have been better to suit his style, especially from when I heard this guy before. Especially, check out that video, Rare Form. You'll see what I'm talking about. And my thing is, I felt that he was holding back a lot on this album, especially, you know, coming from what I've heard in the past. And especially when you listen to this album, like I said, there's dope tracks on here, but then you get to House of Games 2 featuring R.A. the Rugged Man, and that's when, to me, it seemed like Locksmith went off, because he knew that getting on a track with R.A. the Rugged Man, you gotta come correct. And I've said this before about R.A. There's an interview where he said, if you're gonna have me featured on a track, I'm gonna outshine your ass. You know it's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna be looking to outshine whoever's on that track. And trust me, I fucking believe it when R.A. the Rugged Man says that, because he shows and proves every fucking time. And this is no exception on that track. In fact, this track was the draw for me to get this album, even though, you know, I heard of Locksmith before, but once I saw R.A. sort of pushing it on his Facebook, I was like, oh yeah, Locksmith, he's doing a track with him, I gotta go get the album now. So I felt he was holding back, especially when you hear that track in comparison to the rest of the tracks on the album. You're like, shit, what the fuck was this guy doing the whole time? And granted, like I said, there's good tracks on here. I'm not trying to say the rest of the album shit, but compared to that track, that is the track on the album. So that's really all I gotta say about this album. About the cons, you know, I think the production could have been way better, especially for a lyricist like this guy. And I felt that he was holding back. That's just my opinion. But my rating of this album, I would give it in between. I would give it like in between a 6 and a 7. I think that, like I said, Locksmith could have came harder for what I know him for. The little that I know about him, I think he could have came really harder on this fucking shit. But I will be copping his older shit. Listen to it, give it a shot. Leave your opinions down there. Y'all know the deal. Leave your love, leave your hate. Most of all, subscribe, alright? Peace, bitches.